Hello everyone, I'm Pankaj Rai, and in this tutorial, I'm going to talk about how we can take advantage of the new feature which CameraX has added with respect to MlKitAnalyzer. Well, adding text recognition capability or barcode may be a common capability that you might want to have for your app. If not text recognition, then probably the barcode or the QR code scan. Well, the good news is that the CameraX from 1.2.0 onward have added the direct support for the MlKitAnalyzer. And through that, it's pretty much straightforward to add these two capabilities with as minimum effort as possible. So let's head over to build.gradle and see the dependencies that we may want to add. So it's an obvious case we need the dependency for CameraX and thereafter a dependency for MlKit vision, barcode, text recognition. In case if you just want to have the barcode scan, then you may completely avoid this too. And if you are looking for text recognition, then in a similar way, you can avoid the barcode scanning. Also, do not forget to add this to the meta data too. Here, it's just added for barcode. If you are looking for text recognition, then you can add, I believe it's OCR. So you can add it in the metadata so that the moment app is installed, it will also try to download the model. Otherwise, what it will do is at the moment you try to use it for the very first time, then it will try to download the model. And once the model is available, thereafter it can do the inference. Okay, so let's revert it back to barcode. So here, the main target is to add the barcode capability. So just for the demonstration purpose, I have added this too, so that to showcase that this is also something which we can add with CameraX MlKitAnalyzer functionality. Now, if I show the 2ml file, then here are the dependencies. These are for the CameraX. That's for the runtime. This for the MlKit vision, for barcode, and this too is for the text recognition. I'll copy all this in the description section so that if in case if you want to use any of them, you can just take copy paste and add to 2ml file. And if you are seeing about the KTX, if you're thinking about how should you get started with it, so basically if you are using Android Studio Hedgehog, then automatically this creates the KTS file for you. So all these files, KTS for build.gradle, then for the app, 2ml file is all created by the studio itself. I just created a new project and I got all these things. Okay, now let's head over to main activity.kt and here let's check out how to get started. So first of all, let's create a composable and let me name this as recognizer. So we need the camera permission first because it's considered as the dangerous permission. So we should request it in runtime. For that, you will have to specify that in the manifest file first. So I have defined it. And now let's write the equivalent code so that we could request for the camera permission at runtime. So for that, let's create camera permission state object. I can say this as remember permission state. And here I can say manifest dot permission dot camera. Let's opt in for the experimental permission API. And after this, let's check out what happens if camera permission is available to the user. So that we can get it here. And this is the place where we will get started with our MlKit barcode scan. Now, in case the permission is not available, here I'm just adding a simple UI, and it's the same code base that you'll find in the documentation site too. So just copy paste this so that we can quickly get started with our main functionality. And let me explain about what's going on here. So basically, if the camera permission is available, it will execute this part. If not, then it will come here. So we are checking if the user has denied the camera permission once. If yes, then we'll show this. If user has never denied the camera permission, then it will execute the else part. Thereafter, we are showing a text where we are asking for the permission. It's like we need permission for this app to function. And once user clicks on the button, thereafter we'll show the system generated dialog, which will ask for the permission with allow and deny option. Okay. So pretty much straightforward so far. Now let's come to our main code base where we'll have our code base with respect to CameraX. So let's create another composable, and let me name this as CameraX itself. Now this is the place where we are going to call up the CameraX preview view so that we can see the preview on the screen. So we will need a context. So let's create a local context. And we'll also need the lifecycle owner. So let's create the lifecycle owner. Local lifecycle owner dot current. And now let's create a box. So let it occupy the entire width and height. So as you might be aware about this, that CameraX do not have the direct support for Jetpack Compose. We have the views which is available and it works well with the existing UI toolkit. So how can we use the same views so that we can integrate the CameraX to our app? Well, for that, we'll need to depend on the interoperability with existing UI toolkit. So that's about using the existing UI of the preview inside this composable. And for that, we have to use Android View. So Android View is one such composable through which we can inflate the existing view inside our composable, and it gives a feel as if it's a part of composable. In a similar way, we have vice versa too. We can also use the composables inside our existing UI toolkit. But here, as we want to add the CameraX functionalities, we are using Android View. And we are also saying to occupy the entire width and height. So let's specify the modifier. I said let it occupy the entire width and height. Now inside this, we'll need preview view. So I can say preview view. And this lambda have a parameter of this context. So let's specify the context here. And finally, return the preview view. In between these two lines, we are going to call our method where we are going to perform a barcode scan, or in case if you want to have text recognition scan. So let's do one thing now. So let's create a function, and that function is about starting camera and then also performing the barcode scan. So let's have private fun start camera. Now, inside this, what you'll need is the camera controller. So let's create the camera controller first. We can say lifecycle camera controller, and this requires context. So let's accept context as a parameter. Okay, now the next is barcode scan. So for that, let's create options first. And we'll say barcode scanner options dot builder. And here we can set the barcode format. So for now, I'm just saying like barcode dot format QR code and then build. So what this means is that I'm restricting this to only scan the QR code. And now from here on, I can also say barcode scanner is equals to barcode scanning dot get client, and we can specify the option. Well, in case if you do not want to restrict a particular type of code, then you can just avoid this line. That's it. And if you have a dedicated set of QR code or the type of barcode that you want to scan, then just provide it with set barcode format. Now let's create the MlKitAnalyzer. So we'll say MlKitAnalyzer equals to MlKitAnalyzer. Well, the first parameter it requires is the list of detector. So for us, the detector is barcode scanner. After this, let's define the coordinate system view. So I can say this as coordinate system view referenced. And finally, context compact dot get main executor context, so that it will have the executor. Thereafter, we'll get the result inside this lambda. That's it. Pretty straightforward so far. We have the camera controller, we have the barcode scanner, we are providing this barcode scanner to MlKitAnalyzer, and MlKitAnalyzer is also going to provide result to us. And finally, we can say camera controller dot set image analysis analyzer. It requires executor. So again, context compact dot get main executor. Specify the context. And then MlKitAnalyzer. Also, camera controller dot bind to lifecycle. This is quite important. And then we can specify the lifecycle owner. So let's take that also as a parameter. Lifecycle owner. Finally, the preview view that we have created inside this Android view, we need to set the controller to camera controller. So we'll also need the preview view so that we can set preview view controller to camera controller. And that's it. With just this little line of code, we have added the barcode scanning capability to our app. Now we can simply call this method at this place. Let's specify the context, lifecycle owner, and preview view. Also, it's not just about the log. So let's also show the result on the UI. So let's create a text. And inside this, just for now, for demo purpose, let me directly show the result. So for that, let's have result by remember mutable state of empty string. That will show at this place. Also, let's specify a modifier so that it will occupy the entire width. Apart from width, let it also have a background of white color so that we'll able to see the result clearly. Also, let's have a padding of 12 dp. The final thing here is we do not want this to be on the top, so let's align this towards the bottom center. That's it. We are good now. We just need to set this result so that we'll able to see the barcode value on our text composable. So for that, we are going to get the result at this place. So we just need to pass our result back to the place from where we are calling this function so that we can set it to the result object, which is of mutable state of, and that will make this composable to get recomposed and we'll see the result on the UI. So for that, let's first figure it out. What should we do to get the result? So that's going to provide us the result object. So result, and this result is going to have a value, say the get value. So we'll need the barcode results equals to result dot get value, and here we need to pass a detector. For us, the detector is barcode scanner, just like the way we have passed the detector at this place. Now after this, we can get the value by specifying barcode results dot, say I just want to have the value for the first number, whatever we scan. So well, let me say this is scanned barcode value. So whether it's a barcode, QR code, whatever is the case, you're going to get the value at this place. Also remember that barcode result is not just for the one barcode or the QR code. If you're scanning multiple barcode or QR code, you're going to get the multiple result. So what I have done here is that I've said that on this barcode, doesn't matter how many barcode it has scanned in a single frame, whether it's a 2, 3, 10, just give me the first result, and whatever is the value, just give me the text value of it. If the value is not available, that means if it haven't found any barcode, then obviously this will return null. And in case if this returns null, then just provide me the empty string. And now we need to send it back to our composable so that we'll able to set to the result object. So let's have a higher order function, and let me say this is on scan. We'll pass, say, the string value, and now we can call this as on scan barcode value. Here in the lambda, let's define result equals to it, or let's specify the value. So result equals to value, so as to have a proper naming convention. And that's it. We are good to go. Local context, let's remove it because we are passing the context of this Android view to the start camera. So let's avoid this. CameraX, let's call this from this place so that when the camera permission is available, call this CameraX composable. And then finally, let's call the recognizer composable from this surface composable. And let's name this as like CameraX barcode scanner, just to have a better naming convention. And let's change it in this place too. That's it. We are good to go. Let's run and check this out now. Well, so here it is. It is asking for the camera permission. So let's click on request permission. It shows up the dialog. So let me click on while using the app. And here it opens up the interface. So the moment it scans the QR code, you can see the result. It's saying, hello user, how are you? That's the value available for this QR code. Well, things are pretty much straightforward with CameraX now in order to add the barcode capabilities or the text recognizer. Well, I hope this video might have helped you to get started with CameraX and also to add the capabilities like the barcode scan. If you liked this video, then please don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe this channel. Thank you and stay tuned.